Welcome back, persistent hikers, to Glimpses of Our California Parks. Today we will visit the High Sierra region of our California parks, encompassing 11 of over 420 diverse public, state, and federal parks and their related units located within our Golden State. This Salton Sea National Wildlife Refuge video will examine both the Hardenberger Loop Trail surrounding the Redmond Duck Ponds, as well as the Rock Hill Trail area traversing agriculture fields, marsh area, and the volcanic Rock Hill. The Salton Sea National Wildlife Refuge is a 38,000-acre refuge encompassing wetland, farmland, desert shrub, shoreline, and open water habitat. It's a public accessible park maintained by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Located within Imperial County at the southern end of the Salton Sea, this park unit was established in 1930 to protect the vital wetlands and grassland habitat for migratory birds along the Pacific Flyway. We begin our visit at the lower end of the Salton Sea, Unit Number 1, which loops around the Redmond Duck Ponds and provides access to 2 photo blinds. The trail, a nice walking trail, starts at the observation platform and is 0.7 miles in length. Here you can use the observation towers and platforms and take the self-guided interpretive trails and use the photo blinds for wildlife observation and photography. If you walk slowly and don't make any sudden quick movements, you can usually get some nice images of the large foraging bird flocks. Otherwise, be ready to catch them taped to the air. Just remember, this is their backyard and we are the uninvited guests. No loud noises, no disturbances, no feeding, and no disrespectful actions. Only observation, photos, and lots of appreciation for nature and our park's efforts to protect these dwindling habitats. The persistent hiker documented this park unit in the month of November 2024 and hopes this short video and informative commentary will entice you and yours to come visit this federal wildlife refuge in the near future. The Sonny Bono Refuge is separated into 2 different managerial units, upper and lower, to reduce waterfowl depredation to the adjacent croplands. Crops like ryegrass and wheat are grown for the waterfowl consumption during the annual fall-winter West Coast migration period. The 0.7-mile loop trail around the pond is a hard-packed dirt, easy walk, and if you're lucky and patient, you might just capture some close-up wildlife images from the blinds. The dirt trail surrounding the Hardenberger Duck Pond was flat and unshaded, but easy to navigate. Unfortunately for us, the pond didn't contain much waterfowl that day, but the walk was pleasant. I'm sure once the pond is visited by a flock of ducks, these 2 blinds will offer some great up-close viewing. Nevertheless, the surrounding area was loaded with migrating snow geese, feasting in the fields. Behind the lower section's wildlife observation platform is additional acreage containing a wooden platform featuring a nice overview of the refuge's remaining freshwater marsh area. Only a short walking distance north of the parking area. Don't pass up this platform or the views you'll find here. Although the Sonny Bono Refuge contains almost 38,000 acres, the majority is inundated due to the 1905 flooding of the Salton Sea. Even though the Salton Sea is receding, less than 2,000 acres of fields and freshwater marshes make up the manageable areas that encompass the exposed refuge we see today. A unit of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Sonny Bono Salton Sea National Wildlife Refuge sits 227 feet below sea level and is located 40 miles north of Mexico on the border of the Sonoran Desert ecosystem, just east of the Anza-Borrega Desert State Park. This Southern California Wildlife Refuge is a vital nesting and stopover for birds along the Pacific Flyway. Although I found the refuge area clean, this particular marsh area seemed to contain more than its share of water debris. Knowing 90 to 95% of California original wetlands are now gone, we must all try to preserve these remaining areas. As I previously mentioned, snow geese were everywhere, all over the fields in both sections of the refuge, the southern and the northern. There were tens of thousands of them. Weighing up to 25 pounds, they are known for their white plumage and long-distance migrations. They are famous for flying in large jagged lines that can stretch across horizons. Breeding in the Arctic, they spend the colder season in southern coastal marshes, bays, and wet grasslands and fields, which explains why they were here in great numbers when I visited in November. The Salton Sea Refuge was renamed in 1998 to honor Congressman Sonny Bono for his conservation efforts regarding the Salton Sea. The upper section of the refuge contains a visitor center with a massive bird display, bookstore, park information, and flush bathrooms. Outside, we find a 2-mile out-and-back rock-hid trail, an observation platform overlooking the agriculture fields and the refuge, sweeping views of the Salton Sea and the southern shoreline from the top of an inactive volcano, desert uplands, cattail marshes, and freshwater wetland habitats, and a plethora of migrating wildlife and riparian animal and floral habitats. With the sea's high saline levels, freshwater marsh ponds, desert, wetland, and agriculture habitat, the refuge provides a sanctuary for hundreds of birds, including several listed on the endangered list. More than 70% of California's population of burying owls is found here in the Imperial Valley. Scientists here at the Salton Sea Refuge have documented over 519 different species of wildlife, 433 birds, 41 mammals, 22 reptiles and amphibians, and 15 fish. While most birds are migratory, 109 are year-round resident. Although the Salton Sea is devoid of most aquatic life, it is inhabited by a large number of barnacles and water boatmen. These aquatic insects with triangular beaks and boat-shaped bodies, with forelegs covered with hairs and shaped like oars, having the name water boatmen, are one of the few bugs capable of living in the high salinity of the Salton Sea, and serve as a vital food source for all the migrating shorebirds, as well as some waterfowl species. The burrowing owl, a small ground-dwelling owl, native to the open landscapes of North and South America. 7.5 to 11 inches tall, they are typically found in grasslands, rangeland, agricultural areas, deserts, and open, dry areas with low vegetation. They nest and roost in burrows, and despite their names, don't often construct these dwellings themselves. They're always on the lookout for their natural predator. Once outside the visitor's center, we find an observation deck at the head of the Rock Hill Trail. The wooden platform offers a great view of one of 5 volcanic lava domes in the distance. From the top deck of the 2-story platform, one can follow the trail across the entire lower section of the refuge, through native shrubs, around farm fields, parallel to wetland areas, and freshwater ponds, all the way to the Rock Hill Lava Dome. The deck area contains informative information regarding the area's history and early inhabitants. The park's main trail is a wide, flat dirt road with lots of views of the refuge marsh areas, fields, foliage, and waterfowl as you hike to the volcanic dome, Rock Hill, one of 5 lava domes in a 4-mile row inside the Salton Sea Depression. This open hiking trail, beginning at the observation deck, passes within 3 rows of native shrubs and vegetation to include mesquite, saltbush, arrowweed, and palo verde plant species. A seasonal farm field lies immediately north of the tree row. Every fall, refuge staff begin cultivating the field to grow ryegrass for the thousands of snow geese that arrive beginning in November and typically staying through March. This point in the trail marks a transition from the desert shrub habitat to wetland areas of the marsh, freshwater pond, and the shoreline and open water of the Salton Sea. A seawall was built in 1970 as a levee to prevent the Salton Sea from flooding the marsh area. From this section of the trail, we begin our ascent of the tallest lava butte, Rock Hill. Rock Hill is an inactive volcano, a cinder pile, the only hilly bump in the area for miles, which makes for a good elevated overlook of the refuge. Associated within a fumarolic area of volcanic activity atop one of the most geothermal fields in the world, Rock Hill is one of 5 lava domes situated within a 4-mile long row inside the Salton Sea Tectonic Depression. Forced up by the San Andreas and San Jacinto faults as a result of active sea floor spreading during the Holocene period, this area remains an important geological area to California as it marks the beginning of the San Andreas Fault. Here, the Pacific Plate and North American Plate slide horizontally past each other at a snail's pace of 30 millimeters per year. Obsidian Butte, one of the other 4 lava domes, was an important source of obsidian for the Native Americans living in and around the Salton Sea Depression. As to the fate of the Cahuilla natives who inhabited the lower Salton Sea, check out my GOCP video number 24, the Salton Sea State Recreation Area. Take the time to learn about these peaceful desert inhabitants who were among the first California natives to experience the Spanish conquistadors, mission proselytization, Mexican subjugation, settler encroachment, ethnic cleansing, bogus government treaties, forced relocation, and finally culture eradication. Lest we forget the native inhabitants who suffered most during our divinely ordained manifest destiny.
Hope you enjoyed this park adventure. Take the time to visit our sponsors and become a monthly donor, assisting us in documenting each of our diverse federal and state California parks. By becoming a member of the Persistent Hikers and wearing our Glimpses patch, you are informing the young generation that we seniors still have the capability, although limited, to enjoy our parks just as much as they can. Until our next California park adventure, happy trails.